The next question is, where do I get this x from? Because unless I know x, I cannot do this. The 6x has to be absorbed. What is available to me to absorb the x? Y and the inputs. Given and y and input, can I find x or not? Yes, you can find x because observable. So, find that value of x and then use it for the feedback. So, the concept of controllability and observability are so closely involved with modifying the system to be desired performance requirements. It is also possible, I won't go more into it, this x measurement may not be accurate. After all, you are given a y and you are given u, and the y observation may not be a kind of honest observation, and this observation may be contaminated because of some variations in the measurement noise, or it may be some variation in the system itself from the opt values of A, B, C, D. So, the x what you get here may not exactly be the x that it should be. It is somewhere close to that, but not exactly the value of x. So, if I am given an x wiggle rather than x, this x wiggle is the actual value obtained from the measurements of y and u, but not exact of the system. And this is what I apply as the control. Now, what is the implication of the system? In other words, using this, how do I control this? The observation. So, now you will have to put some more feedback loops to correct for this variation in this x bar and so on and so forth. So, system becomes more and more complicated, that is, the observational itself will require some feedback and the control will require another feedback. So, we will have multiple feedbacks giving rise to system control by using this control theoretic aspects. I do not want to get into more of this, but I just want to give you some flavor of what this so called modern control theory is, and this is used everywhere nowadays, and so you must get at least hear these words of modern control theory. Then what did we do before 1970? Did we not do control? No, control has been in existence from time immemorial since the mankind came into existence. There is always a control, whether control in the brain or control in the human being or control in the some control we have been all the time using without using the word control per se. There is a control everywhere. The question came up, how do I control the word as this, when people started looking for methods of control. For example, the door has to be opened when you are going there. How to do the control, right? So, somebody is sensing whether somebody come there or not, and using that as well as opening. And then when you go there, you have gone there, so it is closing it, right? It is a control. So, first time this control was applied was when Victoria Memorial was opened in Calcutta by Sir J.C. Bose. He designed a control system using wireless, as old as that. You know, people have used that kind of things without being a big name for control and so on and so forth. But the control theory has become very important when starting from around 1940s, 50s, something like that, 40s let us say, and the books on control theory started appearing somewhere around 1950. But this is a classical way of looking at a control. And the classical way is, look at this as a network, the system as a network, and we want to modify the network. So, what do I do? So, to give you a flavor of how we have done bolt timers, the same thing, very simplistic viewpoints, no complications like this. You have a black box, is a plant or anything, it has a g of s as the transfer function, and I apply a u, and ideally I want this fellow to give me a u here. So, if I want a step, put a step here, I want this fellow also to give me a step here. But obviously, this fellow won't give me step because this is a transfer function, right. So, now how do I modify this transfer function so that when you give a step, you get a step here. So, to do that, we put a h of s in series and the question is what is this h of s? So that ut will become ut. I am now modifying the plant transfer function by adding another set black box in cascade, such that the overall transfer function, which happens to be product of these two hs and gs, should be equal to 1, right. Because you want ut to be ut, so the overall transfer function has to be 1. So, if it has to be 1, gs and hs must be equal to 1. A very simplistic answer to the problem. So, put a black box here h of s, which is the inverse of g of s. So, hs is nothing but inverse of gs. But this black box is realizable, has to be realizable, otherwise there is no question of making the system with a unity transfer function. So, is this transfer function realizable? It is inverse of a transfer function, and transfer function has the property that the zeros of the transfer function need not be in the left half plane. So, obviously you can see this is not a realizable transfer function in general, because the poles of this are nothing but zeros of this, right. So, the question is it possible always? No, it is not always possible. It is possible only when gs has both poles and zeros on the left half plane, and most systems do not have. There will be zeros in the right half plane. So, you cannot find this inverse box having inverse transfer function to the original box. So, this is a very simplistic viewpoint, but not always doable. So, what do we do? Then people said, okay, let us do some feedback. This is how the feedback concept came. You already know this word feedback from 102. A lot of advantages of this feedback. I won't repeat all that we did in 102. But what does feedback means is take some of the output and then feed it back to the input. That is the concept of feedback. And it is somewhere around 1940. This word feedback came into existence, and the feedback systems were conceived in 1940 as a formal study. And the credit goes to Black in Bell Laboratories, who had a patent on this in 1940, a one-page patent, mind you, just one page, which stated every possible application under the sun by using feedback. I don't know how much money he made by that patent, but in 1940 he made this. And then of course Bell Laboratories, lot of people, Nyquist, Bode, So many people went on studying on this in Bell laboratories and developed a lot of theory for this in classical manner, not this modern control theory. Modern control theory credit goes to Kalman and group. But classical control theory, these were the stalwarts who developed the classical control. All these names you have heard already, Bode, Nyquist,